what you've been through this season, just going to the off season with your headspace, do you feel like you're in as good a space there going into an off season as you have been your pro career?
Um, yeah, probably so. Definitely could be better. So, now it's just, taking that time to, get away from basketball a little bit and, focus a little more on that. So.
Ja, both Zach and Taylor were in here, and they were touching on what comes next for you guys and self-created distractions and just walking the walk. Now that you've had a chance to sort of digest all this and look back on this season, I guess what are you thinking about and what are you wanting to accomplish to make you a better player next year?
I feel like, being available is the number one thing for me. It's times this year, where injuries had me out. The incident where I got suspended, had me away from the team. Even, playing, with injuries. I just want to be, healthy and available. I feel like that's the main thing. So, attacking, my performance side of things even more.
Michael.
John, as you going into I think it's your fifth year, you were about to approach. As a player, you're about to hit your second contract. Do you want input on decisions and things like that? Just what's kind of your take now that you're going into that part of your career where a lot of players get older and try to have a little more influence on those type of decisions?
No, I'm fine with the position I'm in now. I feel like with the organization, from coach to the players, all those guys, pretty much believe in me and look at me as a leader of this team, and I feel like they've been doing a great job with bringing guys in and having guys who are right about about the right things out there. So I haven't looked in that too much, and fine with where I'm at now.
Terry.
Hey, Ja, you said again this season you have something special for us this year. You improve your three-point shooting. What's your biggest improvement you see, and what's your biggest improvement you need to make on the court?
Like I said earlier, my body. That's the main thing.
Colin.
Bright as
Ja, going into this offseason, what are some things you want to see from the offense just to, take it to the next level where you guys are just more efficient throughout games?
Just more variety. Sometimes I feel like we get stagnant a little too much. So, just having a little, more movement, more variety, in the offense that, helps us get, open looks and, easier baskets.
Ja, every year you've talked about in this exit interview process what the team can learn from getting to the second round and taking the next step. And what can you guys learn as a team collectively with the disappointment, the bitterness, but also knowing that everybody's young, everybody can get back, and you guys still believe in this core?
I feel like, being young is definitely, a good sign for us, Obviously, we had some, good seasons in the past, been to the playoffs, 3 times. Obviously not, how we wanted to end, but, just learning from that, knowing that we got to be, even more locked in, during that time in the playoffs, but also, throughout the season. I just feel like, we just got to get back to, being the hunters, we were in previous years.
Sadie.
Ja, a couple of quick ones. Where is your hand now? I know you came back and you played through it. You shook it out a couple times in L.A. I mean, is that something that's going to take a couple of weeks or a month? Or how long do you think it'll be before that hand's 100%?
I don't know. It really just depends on how fast the swelling can get out. That's pretty much it. But I got time now where I can step away from basketball to allow it to heal fully. So.
And you're 48 hours removed from the season coming to an end. The way that it ended with do you allow yourself to wonder what if Steve-O's not hurt or Luke's not hurt or what this team might have done as you sit here now? Do you allow yourself to wonder what if, or it just is what it is?
Yeah, I feel like everybody, you know, pretty much on the team, you know, the organization, probably even our fans, you know, thought about like what it would have been, you know, if we was, you know, fully healthy. Obviously, you know, that's how you want to play, but it's some things, you know, you really, you know, we couldn't avoid, you know. Injuries suck. It's, you know, sad that, you know, we had, you know, guys, you know, who were hurt. But I felt like, you know, with what we had, you know, we could have, you know, won. We didn't, you know, come to play most games, and, you know, the Lakers took advantage of that.
Clayton.
Taylor was just talking about how next season wants to see more walk the walk as opposed to talk the talk and walk the walk. Is that an approach you've already tried to implement since coming back? I noticed, you know, at least in this setting, we haven't seen really any trash talk from you since coming back.
Yeah, that's what I said, you know, pretty much when I got back, that I wasn't, you know, talking about nothing anymore, engaging in, you know, anything. So, yeah, I feel like that was, you know, more for me, but, you know, if I do it, you know, the team, you know, probably won't do it either. So I feel like that's, you know, that's a good thing for us.
So Zach and Taylor both, you know, they want to build a formidable system around you and Dez and Jaren while also empowering y'all as leaders. Just what have those conversations and the energy around those conversations been like with the added responsibility of being leaders for this team?
I feel like, you know, it's, you know, pretty much the obvious. Obviously, you know, with, you know, us three, you know, leading the charge, but you know, Coach Zach, those, you know, they've spoken to us, you know, after the game, even today, you know, speaking on, you know, how they're going to challenge us. And, you know, they even said it in front of the team that, you know, we got to be the guys that, you know, lead us with, you know, everything we do, how we work, how we go about things. So it's definitely, you know, something, you know, we embrace, and something, you know, we, you know, happy to be a part of, happy to do. And we just got to do it, honestly. Just go out and, you know, lead these guys.
You just talked about some of the changes you made, changes about talking. Are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of the changes that you've made so far?
Yeah, I am, honestly. Less drama, less jaw on the blogs for, you know, something I said. So, yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
You ain't got no more questions for him.